degrees. Now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the Ball on News Talk. The Pat Kenny Show. Back tomorrow.
Punchestown Gold Cup, that was your swan song on Kenboy. And last night, the lads in Off the Ball, they managed to get a hold of Willie Mullins. And he described...
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
I'm going to be happy about that. Welcome along to Thursday Night Off the Ball. It is Richie McCormick sitting in tonight. And a busy show we have on the way for you, half of which will emanate from the Aviva Stadium. We're catching our breath after a couple of nights of scintillating action in the Champions League. One man who was at the Camp Nou last night was the great Steve McManaman. We'll spend the night in his company as well as that of Kenny Cunningham down at the Aviva. That's all on the way after 7:30. As it is Thursday, John Giles will join us in studio tonight, but at the slightly later time of just after 9 o'clock. We're going to be checking in on the Mayo Jolly Up in New York City ahead of their Connacht Championship opener this weekend. More of that in the next few moments or so. We want your text and your views as well as ever tonight. 53106 for 30 cent is the text number. You can tweet us at Off the Ball. I am Richie McCormick and joined in studio tonight by Neil Tracy. Good evening, Neil.
How are you, Richie?
And Stewie Byrne's back in with us. Stewie,
hey
evening.
Richie, how are you?
I'm grand. I'm good. Delighted to see you. We're going to be talking about Cork a little bit later on and the John Caulfield departure, which, you know, had been coming, but is also somewhat of a wrench and a bit of a surprise given the length of time that he'd been there. Seeing as you're in studio, we have to check in how the music career is going as well, because you've been making strides in the last few months.
Yeah.
The last time I spoke to you anyway, you were trying to find yourself a studio.
Yeah, I found that.
Find somewhere to kind of twiddle a few knobs and get a few tweaks done to the demos that we'd heard on air.
Yeah, I found that, yeah. So, like, pens down, everything's finished from my point of view. Probably finished when I last spoke to you, so it's just been a bit of a chore to kind of get somebody to work with. But I found that person.
You found the right person?
Found the right person, yeah. So, recording on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully. So.
Can you divulge that information live on air?
I'm working with Gavin Glass.
Very good.
Who was excellent. He's already done one of the songs and he's done a fantastic job on it. Seriously talented guy, so I'm really looking forward to coming back in with him on Monday, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully releasing something in the next couple of weeks.
Very good. I believe we've probably got a little bit of world exclusive though here tonight on Off the Ball. I'm delighted to say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Club Classic.
Okay, I'm not going to, Stewie.
Summer Classic.
I pretend that we haven't had this conversation off air and that this is happening naturally.
Well, I didn't know this was coming.
What we've done here tonight is we've robbed music off Stuart's hard drive and are going to play it on air against his will. That isn't the case at all. You've actually given us the okay to play a little bit of something tonight.
I've given you the okay, yeah, to play a small clip or something.
Do you want to introduce this one? Because this is slightly different to what we may have heard before.
This is different to what I've done before, yeah. I don't know where this came from. I think this came from my 80s youth of films like Staying Alive and Saturday Night Fever and all that kind of stuff. So it's my inner George Michael, so I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, we'll let other people judge for themselves in a moment. I heard New Order when I heard a little bit of this.
Well,
some other stuff as well.
That's a huge...
But anyway, do you want to introduce it yourself?
It's Dance the Night. Just play it away.
Byrne, ladies and gentlemen. Dance the Night.
Big box, little box, big box.
I honestly would, like, thinking back to your playing days, even coming in here as a pundit down through the years, if you would have told me that was you.
I don't know what's going on either, Richie, to be honest with you. I'm just going with it.
You're like, there's DFA influences going on there. I don't know if you're familiar with that label from New York, formed by James Murphy from LCD Sound System.
No.
A lot of people like Juan McLean.
I think I need to have a serious conversation with you because I know you know your music stuff.
I'll give you an end of some of the tunes and you can kind of compare and contrast.
It's Stephen Doyle in here as well.
I need a bit of advice.
There's probably going to be a tunes podcast done by the station at some stage between yourself, Steve Doyle come in, do bits and pieces.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, sure, leave it with us. We're creating content live on air. That's what happens here.
This is great. You need to get in here more often.
It distracts away from stuff like football. Let's be honest with you. It's just a trifling matter when you look back at it. And last night as well. And we'll be touching on all of that with Steve McManaman after 7:30 on tonight's show. John Giles as well, as we mentioned. A couple of great nights of Champions League action. I know what you saw was kind of curtailed over the past while, but it's kind of nice that we get to this stage where pretty much every game is top quality. There's no sense that we're kind of wasting time until we get to something.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, the quality is just crazy. Even when you look at the Barcelona-Liverpool game last night, I mean, Messi's just... I mean, I've forgotten how old the guy is. Like, you know, he just seems like he's still 16 again. Like, you know, just doing what he's been doing for the last 15 years or so. Like, you know, just incredible. But, I mean, I'm a Man United fan, I have to say, and I'm kind of... I know this mightn't go down well, but I've been kind of pushing for Liverpool to win it. I think they kind of deserve it, so to speak.
Wow.
I know. I can't help it, but like, I mean, because I literally, you know, my school days were ridiculed by Liverpool. Just, you know, until Ferguson eventually got the job in the late 80s, whatever, and then suddenly I could sort of stick my head above the parapet. But so hated Liverpool for so long. But I think as a United fan, they've kind of... I think I need to forgive them a little bit. Like, I'd rather see them win it than City. I don't know why you want Man City to win the league with all them. There's no history with the club. It's all... It's all foreign money being pumped in.
At the same time, then, would that not just leave you feeling just nothing? Like, would you just not care either way? If it's the kind of Johnny-come-lately, just pump money in.
Let's be honest with you. It wasn't some lads from the cast of Bread that bought Virgil van Dijk and Alisson over the course of the last 18 months.
No, fair enough. I know, fair enough. But I mean, they're sticking, you know, to be fair to them, they are... Man United and Liverpool are the two sort of historical clubs in England. As far as I'm concerned, I know people, you know, you get Leeds supporters coming in here, probably looking to...
George is going to be coming
ambush me outside. Yeah, John's going to give me
that man can still tackle.
Give me an elbow walking at the door, but... no, I'm sticking to it. I'd rather see Liverpool win it than City.
Okay, we'll find out more. Neil, where are we starting the Newsround now? The European action continuing tonight?
Yeah, and our two Europa League semi-final first legs kick off at 8 o'clock. Team news is in. Chelsea are in Germany to take on Eintracht Frankfurt, and Maurizio Sarri has decided to leave Eden Hazard and Gonzalo Higuain on the bench.
The man's crazy.
European semi-final.
First leg.
I know they're still trying to get top four and all that, but I mean, come on.
You pick Hazard. Let him play for an hour and you try and get as much as you can from this tie, but anyway.
Yeah, he goes with Kepa in goals, back four of Azpilicueta, Christensen, David Luiz and Emerson Palmieri. There's a midfield trio of N'Golo Kante, Jorginho and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, with Pedro and Willian supporting Olivier Giroud. In fairness to Giroud, he has scored 10 goals so far in the competition this season. Arsenal are at home for their first leg with Valencia. They're coming off 3 defeats in a row in the league, but Unai Emery does have a great record in this competition. It's a record 5th semi-final for him. He's also won the competition 3 times while at Sevilla. Petr Cech comes in for Bernd Leno in goals. It looks like a back three of Socrates, Koscielny and Mustafi, Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Said Kolasinac on the wings, Matteo Guendouzi and Granit Xhaka in midfield, with Mesut Ozil in behind Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alex Lacazette.
I'm just watching Petr Cech arrive into the Emirates tonight. He's gone for a nice navy suit with a polo neck underneath. That man is nothing if not stylish. We'll be touching on the Europa League stuff in the football show with John, keeping an eye on it as well. But I wanted to touch on this because I know Mauricio Pochettino has been talking about Jan Vertonghen today. The latest, we got a press release from Spurs last night. He's obviously spoken about it further today as Pochettino and the head injury that was suffered by Vertonghen. Yeah, and he insisted his medical staff followed protocol when treating Jan Vertonghen for a potential concussion during their Champions League tie with Ajax on Tuesday. He clashed heads with teammate Toby Alderweireld during the 1-0 first leg defeat, and Pochettino says the correct measures were taken to assess the player.
Our doctor, our medical staff behave very well. I am professional about football, not about medicine. When they make all the protocol and was negative, the concussion, and that is why they allowed to the player continues to play.
When you saw that the other night, Stewie, what were you thinking when Vertonghen went back on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that has really become, you know, obviously it's a huge thing in rugby. You've got protocols in place, but the issue of concussion in soccer is very much becoming a talking point. When you look back at even the documentary that Alan Shearer did, which I watched, thought it was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. The unfortunate thing is probably there isn't enough evidence at the moment or stats to really justify you know, where the issues are in soccer. I know they're obviously trying to build that data at the moment, but there's definitely an issue there. And I think the incident the other night, it has to be taken out of the hands of the player. You know, the doctor who knows the player inside out should be able to assess him and make a call on that behalf. Probably didn't help him out. It probably looked like Pochettino was probably trying to get him back on the pitch quite quickly, and maybe the optics didn't look right, and people were looking at him saying he's not right at all.
One of the quotes I heard from Pochettino as well, saying that the fact that Vertonghen had it within his head to know that he needed to change his shorts, because you do, as soon as you get blood on anything, your nicks and your jersey have to be changed. He knew enough that he wanted to change his shorts.
It needs to be taken out of the hands of the manager as well, because obviously the manager's so emotional. He's caught up in the situation. He wants to get a player back on the pitch. You know, this was a huge game, and you know you have to go with the doctor. You can only presume that the doctor's assessed him and has felt he's okay to play, but definitely has to come out of the hands of the player. Now, I don't know whether there's a protocol now, whether he gets assessed after the game. Can he play in the next game? I don't know. I know, is it 10 days in rugby?
It's not a specific number of days. It's well, no. If
you have markers to hit.
Yeah, if it's proven you were concussed or you lost consciousness, it is a certain number of days. But if you fail the head injury assessment, it's kind of just a gradual return to play. Every couple of days you go through, you know, a new test, and you know, a few days later you might be allowed to go back on and do non-contact training. If you don't have any signs after that, you go on to the next step. But I think it's really only if you actually lose consciousness, you go through you're just stood down for X number of days.
Yeah. But I think it highlights an awful lot of, you know, the things that are happening in soccer. The concussion thing is definitely becoming an issue now. You look at, you know, Casillas with the heart issue as well. Like, you know, these are all underlying things that are there that you would think the professional clubs would be on top of their game with, but I don't think we've reached that point yet in soccer. And hopefully it doesn't come to the scenario where, you know, it gets very, very serious and somebody...
With the amount of money that's swilling around in the game, and the very fact that your players are essentially your assets. Yeah. They are like your money in the bank that you have, and they are going to control your fortunes for the next while. It would behoove you to look after them.
But this is where my worry would be. Are we waiting for somebody to collapse on the football pitch? And we've had that. You know, we've had it in White Hart Lane, where we exactly. So, you know, we shouldn't have to wait until that happens. You know, before we need to get sort of protocols and certain things in place now, so that players understand what's you know. I think if there's protocols there, the player himself might say, oh, "I'm not right," like, you know. But certainly, it's the doctor's call.
Yeah. Neil, can we jump onto the Mayo team initially, because I know the first bloom of championship action is coming up this weekend, and James Horan has revealed his starting 15 for New York.
Yeah, he has. Richie he's revealed his starting team for the Connacht Senior Football Championship game away to New York on Sunday. 2 changes from the side that beat Kerry in the Division 1 League final. James McCormick and Evan Regan come in for Donald Vaughan and Diarmuid O'Connor. McCormick will make his championship debut, while Matthew Varan and James Carr also start for the first time. The winner of Sunday's game will play either Roscommon or Leitrim in the semis, and Horan says the trip to the States is bringing its own challenges.
Yeah, our logistics guy is he's under pressure. He's really under pressure the last couple of weeks. There's an awful lot to it of little bits and pieces. You'd be amazed at what, you know, when you're trying to get a big group of people to a different country to play a game of football. Yeah, you know, so there's all that to it. Yeah, the flight and the hotels and the hydration and all that kind of thing. But hopefully we've done it before. Played in England and played in New York in 2014, so just trying to get as much of that right as you can, or as much of it as you can control, and try and be as right as we can for 2:15 on May 5th. So we're looking forward to it. There's a lot of families and a lot of people going out for Mayo, which is, you know, a big part of it and a big part of the GAA. So that's to be welcomed as well. But you know, we just want to get out there and give the best performance we can.
And thanks to our logistics man, we can check in with New York City right now. Joining us live from the Big Apple is one of those travelling party that James Horan mentioned there. Good God, I wasn't ready for you on screen. Kevin Kilban, come in. Hello.
How are you, lads? How are you keeping?
We heard
there was a few problems over here, Rich. Never mind, problems of a different nature, though, let me tell you.
Go on. What problems are you encountering over there?
Oh, no, it's not willing to be discussed on air, you know that.
It's already started. Like, listen, this already started this afternoon when we started getting the first notifications into the off-the-ball account of you being photographed in the airport by other Mayo people. So there's clearly a gang of you have headed over. Give us a sense of the crew that have gone to NYC for Mayo versus New York.
Yeah, I flew in yesterday from Dublin, so there was actually a good crowd on the plane yesterday. Met a couple of lads out, you know, typical Irish crowd. You know, you go to the Irish bar, you meet the Irish people, meet a lot of people from Mayo, so there you go. And that's how it was. Rich, there's going to be plenty out here, as you can well imagine, coming over. I think I think David Brady's crew's coming over tonight, so they'll be arriving. I think they probably just arrived now in the last half an hour or so. So they'll be coming in this evening. So there'll be some crack at it in the next 72 hours, or whatever it's going to be.
So what you're saying is we're about to throw a match towards a puddle of petrol by getting David Brady and crew over towards you in New York.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Give us a sense of what New York is like at the minute. Is there much sense that there's going to be this descending of a Mayo mass onto the city in the next 48 hours? Have you been talking to any of the people involved in the game yet?
Rich, sorry, there's a Mexican holiday, I think, this weekend as well. Is it Mexico Day? There's a certain
Cinco de Mayo.
That's Sunday as well.
Cinco de Mayo, Kev.
That's the one. That's Sunday. So that's Sunday. So you've got a rake of people from Mayo coming in, mixing with the Mexicans. What more could you ask for? That's the way I'm looking at it, anyway. So this weekend, there's a lot going on in Manhattan. As I said to you, I mean, you know, there's not too much to talk about. I don't think I would actually realise here what the hell is about to happen. I think certainly up in the Bronx, what's going to happen come Sunday afternoon. So there'll be obviously a rake of Mayo people up there the weekend, which is going to be good. And then we'll see how it goes then come post match, when that's when it really happens, I think, anyway.
Yeah, we've just heard James Horan talking about the needs to keep his panel hydrated. Clearly the same would apply to yourselves, Kev.
Oh, very much so, Rich, yeah, very much. I'm just behind. I've had to come somewhere very quiet. The weather's actually great, actually. It's 24, 25 degrees here today. Yesterday was raining, so the sun's come out today, so the sun's come out for the team to arrive, so what more could you ask for?
Whereabouts are you at the moment?
I'm just out actually upstate, so I'm just outside. I've just got the bus for half an hour, just come upstate today, and then we're going to head back into Manhattan later on this afternoon. Very, very nice.
The things you go and do in the name of supporting Mayo, Kev, it's you're some supporter. It's great. It's to be admired, I think.
Is it admirable? Yeah, is that what you're saying?
No, it is. It's admirable, Kev. You know, you should be proud of your support of Mayo. And Ronan in the box has just pointed out to me the Kismet of Yous actually playing on the 5th of May, it being the Cinco de Mayo. Do you see what they've done there?
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, if
there you go.
If there aren't Mayo supporters en masse on Sunday afternoon wearing sombreros and the like and being culturally insensitive, then I'm going to be very, very surprised.
Mayo Day on Saturday, Rich, as well, so there you go.
Good Lord. Kev, we'll let you get back to being in upstate New York and being the international jet setter that you are, and thank you so much for taking time out, and enjoy New York.
No, all the best, lads.
And take care of David Brady for us as well. Good stuff, Kev, take care.
Yeah,
there you go.
What's he doing over there?
He's just living it up, Stewie. He's living it up because Mayo are playing in the championship.
Representing Mayo.
If we had put a bit of thought into this, we could have been over in Mayo and we could have let the lads do the bit in the Aviva with Steve McManaman. Now, I'm not downplaying Steve McManaman in the Aviva, but going to New York for a couple of days would be a bit of crack, wouldn't it?
I think I know what I'd like to do.
You missed out on this.
I like the sign just behind Kev as well that said cocktails.
That follows Kev around, strangely enough.
He needs to get into that Mayo jersey. That blue jumper needs to go.
But you're not finding the blue jumper?
24 degrees. What's he wearing a jumper for?
That's true, actually.
He's from Preston. You kind of have to be available for all really eventualities. We'll look back a little bit on last night with John Giles later on, but hear from Jurgen Klopp in the wake of last night too, Neil.
Yeah, and he says he's proud of his players despite the 3-0 defeat to Barcelona last night. 2 goals from Lionel Messi and 1 for Luis Suarez have left them with a mountain to climb in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final next week. But Klopp does believe they can return from Spain with their heads held high.
Couldn't be more proud of them than big up. We know the result, and people who didn't see the game will say strange things about it. It's all good. We accept that easily. It's just how they always strike back in these kind of games, difficult, how brave they are in these moments. I just like it. So I just like it. And at the end, of course, it's still a 3-0. Whatever I think about the game, it's still a 3-0, and it will not change. So, but it's okay. Let's fly home and play Newcastle.
Kieran Cunningham pointed out earlier on today that in the away legs of their Champions League exits in 2017 and 2018, Barcelona conceded 3 goals.
I was just going to say, I mean, Anfield, Barcelona away. I mean, I think Liverpool, look, early goal, they think that's going to be the objective, isn't it? The first 10, 15 minutes, if they can get the crowd hopping, they can get an early goal to say we have a chance. I would have thought that Barcelona's prerogative is to go over there and keep them quiet for the first 10
I think
minutes.
if Salah had scored that goal, come off the
hitting
post,
the bar, right
definitely. Back in it.
It's almost for me, the Mane one for me was the one that sticks out, because I think 9 times out of 10 it comes down his foot instead of skying it. He puts that in the back of the net. And
I would say one thing: if there was any club in Europe that, you know, when the atmosphere is right and they can pull this kind of stuff off, it would be Liverpool. It's sort of historically have tended to do it down.
Are you
years.
sure you're not a Liverpool supporter?
I'm just thinking back to Gerrard.
Have you thrown this like Manchester United thing out here as a red herring to just kind of go, like he's a Manchester?
I have free reign to say what I want about Liverpool.
They've ruined United. United's been ruined. I'm waiting for Ollie to say it, like, and he's got to get rid of about 4 or 5 players for us.
Oh yeah, mention the manager on first name basis. I'll make sure we think you're still supporting that club. Yeah, good stuff.
No, in fairness, you know, if anyone could probably do it, you'd give them half the chance if they can get that goal. Kieran points out, allied to that stat, Barcelona didn't score an away goal in their exits in 2016, 17 or 18. It's all adding up to a Liverpool 4-3 win, isn't it? Stewie, I wish I was much of a Liverpool supporter. I could have that kind of hope. We are off to Cork next. We'll be talking with Stewie a little bit about this later on. But Cork have appointed an interim manager, Neil. Yeah, they have. They've appointed John Caulfield's former assistant, John Cotter, as their interim manager. Caulfield left his post at Turner's Cross yesterday after a run of 8 games without a win, leaving the club just 3 points above the relegation zone. Captain Alan Bennett and former Republic of Ireland midfielder Colin Healy will join Cotter's management team for the time being, and they'll be in the dugout for tomorrow's trip to Bohemians in the SSE Electricity League Premier Division. Fergus McFadden's gotten himself a ban. Yeah, he has. He's been banned for 6 weeks after being found guilty of a headbutt on Ulster's Sean Reedy during last Saturday's Guinness Pro 14 meeting in Belfast. McFadden wasn't carded at the time, with referee George Clancy letting him off with a warning because there was just one wide-angled replay available to the TMO, which he thought was inconclusive. But a Pro 14 disciplinary panel concluded today the player had committed an act of foul play involving contact to the head, which they say was intentional and warranted a red card at the time. So the mid-range entry point of a 10-week ban was reduced down to 6 after the player's remorse and his engagement with the disciplinary process instantly. But with just 3 weeks left in the season, that ban is going to run up officially until the 25th of August because the Pro 14 says it has to account for meaningful matches played by both Leinster and Ireland. The theory is, I suppose, they'll be okay without him. They've enough reserves. He's 57 players this season. So that's insane. That's literally insane. We mentioned Mayo, Paul Flynn. He joined us on OTBM this morning. Yeah, and he says he's been overwhelmed by support he's received since announcing his retirement from inter-county football yesterday. The 32-year-old won 6 All-Ireland titles and earned 4 other All-Stars in his 12 years with Dublin, but he's opted to stay away from Jim Gavin's panel after struggling for fitness after back surgery last year. He told OTBM this morning that his mother had criticised him for the timing of the announcement.
Flynn is here, the former Dublin footballer. How are you? Yeah. Have you made peace with that?
I have, yeah. Thanks very much. It doesn't sound right just yet, but it will, in time. So
yourself and John O'Shea and Ruby Walsh, quite the day. Did you all coordinate that? Was that like a?
Yeah, we're WhatsApp.
Right, lads, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. So my mum was giving out last night that Ruby was stealing my thunder. So.
And I saw Alan Brogan on Twitter going, "Don't worry about it. Leo Messi's going to steal everybody's thunder" last night.
For those of us watching online there, it's nice to see that Kenny Cunningham dressed up for the occasion. He's milking that hat, isn't he? He's wearing that all the time now. I'll be honest, when you get to a certain level of hair loss, you probably wear a hat every now and again. That clip, of course, from OTB AM. You can join our Sports Breakfast show every weekday morning at 7:45 AM on offtheball.com, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. You can start your day with Off the Ball, and you can see our social channels for full broadcast details for more. Reeling back to Punchestown, because we've had another busy day there, Neil. Yeah, day 3 of the Punchestown Festival. The Harry Fry train. Do you know what I mean? Harry won today's feature, the Grade 1 Champion Stayers Hurdle. The 9-year-old reclaimed the title he won in 2017, pulling clear of the Willie Mullins trained Bapalm and Bacardi's to win by a couple of lengths at odds of 16-1. The other big Grade 1 today was the Ryanair Novice Chase. Willie Mullins and Robbie Power teaming up for a 3-1 win with Shakan Poursaw, who held off Cheltenham winner and favourite Defi Dussault in a brilliant finish. Elsewhere, the 11-4 favourite Snugsborough Hall was an easy winner of the
the Grade B pigsback.com handicap chase. The Grade B Conway Piling handicap hurdle went to the Willie Mullins train My Sister Sarah at odds of 4-1. And elsewhere, the Latouche Cup cross-country chase that was won by Ballyboker Bridge, a 12-1 winner for Sean Flanagan and Peter Marr.
Good stuff, Neil. We'll have more from Stewie a little bit later on in the show. We're going to be talking Cork. Get your questions in for John Giles as well, because we've had a text in from Kenny B. Forget about Kenny C. Saying, lads, during the beatification of Messi, can you please comment on his Neymar-style theatrics in the first half when he was nudged by James Milner? I thought he was above all that messing, says Kenny B. Get your text in and your tweets for John. He's up after 9 o'clock tonight in the football show. And keep that text number in mind, 53106, because we have an amazing prize to give away. If you're a rugby fan, it's a trip to Ireland versus Scotland in Yokohama this September at Rugby World Cup 2019. We're going to have 100 finalists who'll join us on May the 9th for a special show that we're doing. The only way to come along on the night is to win one of our special green tickets. We've now only got the 30 left. I'll be giving away another 3 tonight. So to win, simply tell us who is the reigning World Rugby Player of the Year. Who is the reigning World Rugby Player of the Year? If you think you know, text your answer along with your name to 53106. Entrants must be over 18, and remember to drink responsibly. Visit drinkaware.ie. And it's all with thanks to Heineken, worldwide partner to Rugby World Cup 2019 in Japan. Up next, we're off to the Aviva with Steve McManaman.
Off the ball on News Talk.